Okay, so in the last class we had discussed regarding the properties of metals, that means physical properties of metals. So we are discussing the chapter metals and non-metals, right? Okay, so far we have got regarding the metals some of the physical properties of metals. What are these? Metals are lustrous, metals are generally hard, then metals are malleable, that means metal shows the property of malleability. Then metals are ductile, that means metal shows the property of ductility. Again we got metals are good conductor of heat, and yes, metals are good conductor of heat and have high melting points. Metals are good conductor of electricity. Again metals are sonorous. We have discussed these things in detail, right? So today we are going to start the next topic, that is regarding non-metals, right? So some of the examples of non-metals are like carbon, sulfur, iodine, oxygen, hydrogen. These are what? Non-metals, right? And if you compare with this periodic table, that means if you just remind the periodic table, then you will get that these elements, carbon, sulfur, iodine, their positions are on the right side of the periodic table. Okay, and which was discussed in chapter number 5, periodic classification of elements, right? So in case of non-metals show the property just opposite of metals, except some exceptional cases are there, we will discuss it. Okay, but normally metal, whatever with the properties of metals are there, in case of non-metals most of these properties cannot be applicable. That means they just show the property which contradicts the properties of metals. Okay, so non-metals, then in that sense, if we want to express and if we want to write the properties of non-metals, then simply we will say non-metals are not lustrous, right? Again they are somewhere they are what? Soft. Or metals are what? Not a good conductor of heat and electricity, and metal will not produce sound. This thing, there is just opposite of metal is the non-metal, right? That means the properties of non-metals are just opposite of metals. Okay, so non-metals are what? Either solid or gases, except bromine. In case of non-metals, what happen? Their state, the physical condition is either solid or gas, except one non-metal, bromine, which is liquid. Other than bromine, rest of the non-metals are solid or gas. Okay, so the properties of non-metals are just opposite of metals. That means what? The properties of metals are not applicable in case of non-metals. That's all regarding non-metal. Okay. Let us go through some exceptional cases. Okay. In case some exceptional cases are there, let us discuss it. Except mercury, all metals are solid at room temperature. What does it mean? That except mercury, that means other than mercury, rest of the metals are solid. The state or the condition of metals are normally solid other than mercury. That means mercury is the only metal which is liquid at room temperature. Room temperature means what? The normal temperature, right? So the physical condition of metals are solid other than mercury, which is an exceptional case. Next, we know that metals have high melting and boiling point, right? Here gallium and cesium are the two metal which have what? Low melting point. That means gallium and cesium, though these two are metals, but their melting point is low. You know that as far as we are concerned regarding the properties of metals have high melting points. So this is the exceptional case, that gallium and cesium, though they are metal, but their melting point is low. Okay, next, iodine. Iodine is a non-metal, but it is lustrous. Just you recall the properties of metals. We know that metals are lustrous. Iodine is a non-metal. But still it is lustrous. So this is an exceptional case, that though iodine is not a metal, it is a non-metal, but somewhere it is showing the properties of metals. This is one more exceptional case. Next, you know that carbon is a non-metal, right? Carbon is non-metal and it has various allotropic form, right? Different form of carbon. Okay, allotropic form means what? They are the different forms of carbon which existed naturally. Different natural existing form of an element is the allotrope. So the allotrope of carbon, you know that diamond, graphite, fullerene are the allotropes of carbon. So basically carbon is a non-metal, but its allotropic form diamond is an allotropic form of carbon, right? And you know that diamond is the hardest substance and have high melting point. Actually these characteristics, hard and high melting point, is of metal, but diamond is not a metal actually, right? Because it is the allotropic form of carbon, which is a non-metal. So besides its origin as non-metal, but still it is showing the properties of metals. So this is one more exceptional case. Third one, just now I have cited that graphite is another allotropic form of carbon, right? And you know that graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Conductor of electricity or conducting electricity is the property of metals actually, right? So far we are concerned, conducting electricity is the property of metals, but graphite, it is an allotropic form of carbon, which is a non-metal. Besides this, it is conducting electricity. That means what? This is also another exceptional case. Okay, the next one, alkali metals. Okay, alkali metals are those which are present if you relate with the periodic table, the position of lithium, sodium, potassium are in the first group, right? In the first group of periodic table. So alkali metals, those elements, right, which are present at the first group of periodic table are known as alkali metals. That means they have been specialized, they have been categorized as alkali metals. Not all lithium, sodium, potassium, these are metals, right? But they are known as a special name is given for them is alkali metals, right? So these alkali metals are soft and they can be cut with a knife. That means they are very soft, not so hard. Again, they have their low densities and low melting point. And you know that the properties of metals are hard and have high melting point, right? So though lithium, sodium, potassium, these are metals, but still their melting point is low or their densities are what, low, and they are soft, which actually are not the properties of metals, but still they are showing. That's why these are some exceptional cases. So up to this, the physical properties of metals and non-metals have been discussed. That means physically how the metals and non-metals appear, or what are the features by detecting which we can come to a conclusion that this substance can be categorized as metals, or that substance can be specialized as non-metals. But at the very beginning of this chapter, I had cited that only the physical nature or the physical properties are not sufficient to confirm that this is the metal, or this is the exact characteristics of a metal, right? Because two kinds of properties are there, physical and chemical, and chemical properties are the more reliable, and chemical properties will give us more clarity regarding the characteristics or the behavior or the properties of a substance. So definitely we have to move across the chemical properties of metals and non-metals, so that we can get a confirmation or the exact properties or their features, what is the extent of their reaction, how they will combine with other. So to make it clear or to make it convenient for us to study their properties, we have to go through their chemical nature, because chemical properties will exactly determine how it will be, what will be its future course of action. And so far we have got, and regarding the metals and non-metals in chapter number 2 also we have got some clue regarding the formation of oxide, right? And most non-metals are produces what kind of oxide? Acidic oxide. That means if metals are dissolved in water, then non-metals, then they used to form acidic oxide. That means this oxide will behave as an acid, right? And in case of metal, they produces basic oxide. So from next onwards we will be discussing regarding the chemical nature or the chemical properties of metals, right, in detail, how they will react with water, how what is the extent of their reaction, and different materials show different kinds of reaction, and what are their reactivities, which metal will react up to what extent, or what will be its mode of reaction, from which basis we can say that this is the more reactive metal and that is the less reactive metal. In the next video we will discuss in detail regarding this. So today up to this much physical properties got completed. Okay, thank you.